It's Ursilia again, the nurse on the street, and I'm here in Silver Lake, California with Dael from Bee Rescue.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey, so Dael, you've been telling me a little bit about your business. I think it's so fascinating. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got into beekeeping. How long have you been doing it now for?
This is my 12th season, and
Wow.
I got into beekeeping. I was a property manager, and one of my tenants actually was rescuing bees. And I saw that he wasn't doing beekeeping the way that he could be doing. He wasn't going to farmers markets. He wasn't selling his honey. He wasn't giving education in people's backyards or schools. He wasn't renting his hives out to people. And I saw a big opportunity there that was being missed. So I started taking lessons. I started capturing beehives. I read books and things like this. And then all of a sudden the world of beekeeping just expanded and opened up. And I saw the potential of a worldwide hobby and a business that really helps people.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about Bee Rescue in itself. So you're rescuing bees.
Yes, we rescue. Bee Rescue is my right hand, and my left hand is the National Honey Company. The National Company can have a little brochure here. It shows that we do different things. It shows that we do bee relocation from Bee Rescue, and then we also sell honey and hive products, which is wax. We sell pollen, propolis, but mainly people like our local honey. So we're here on the street showing people that we have honey right from the area. We also do bee education, so we give classes to people in their backyards. We also go to schools and colleges and universities and give a little bee education through a program called Mobile Bee University. We also rent hives to the orchards so they can pollinate crops, specifically the almonds. And then also we rent hives for people in their backyards so they can learn about beekeeping.
That's awesome. So as a pediatric nurse practitioner, I've often prescribed local honey to my patients who have terrible allergies. 1 spoon of honey, and this is peer-reviewed research, and I actually first learned about it in 2014 at a pediatric nurse practitioner conference because there was a holistic practitioner talking about this. So 1 teaspoon of honey a day acts as an antibody for all of the fauna around. So do you know a little bit about that?
Yes, exactly. People ask me that all the time, and when they see us, they ask if it's local. I go, yes, it's local. Not only is it local, it's hyper-local. So
what does hyper-local mean?
Hyper-local means that in the community that we sell our honey, we actually have hives. Right now we're in Silver Lake, and we actually have hives just around the corner, and so we're actually going to have some Silver Lake honey. Today you're going to get a chance to taste some.
Yes.
And now the reason why this honey is local and why it helps is because of the pollen that's inside. It's not necessarily the honey that helps, it's the pollen that gets into the honey.
Right, works like an antibody.
Small doses of things that you are allergic to or that you have hay fevers to. So if you're allergic to certain pollens and you have hay fever for, let's say, buckwheat or some other type of flower that's growing in the area, by having little small doses of it, your body starts to tolerate it. It's like giving yourself inoculation of what you're allergic to.
It boosts up your immune system,
Exactly,
so your allergies aren't so bad, or they go away. I mean, I personally have done this with my mom and my brother. I've done it for myself, and it goes away. I mean, I don't have these massive allergic attacks with nasal congestion, coughing. I have like a postnasal drip sometimes. Some kids get like really bad asthmatic reactions. I'm not saying it's a cure to asthma, but it is a holistic cure to allergies.
And we suggest if you want to buy local honey, and if you go to a farmer's market, please go to the vendors on the back of his booth. It's going to have a certificate, and it's going to actually show where the hives are. Because a lot of companies and a lot of people at farmers market actually sell orange honey and clover honey and buckwheat honey, but it's not from where you live. So ask the beekeeper or ask the vendor, are you the beekeeper? Where are your hives? Have him show you the certificate where his hives are, so you can be confident that you're getting honey right from where you're living, not just someone buying honey and coming to the market. There was one farmer's market that I had, it says local honey, but you look at the jar and his name of his company is Local Honey.
Yes, that happened to me. So I was at like Sprouts or Whole Foods Paycheck one day, and I was buying the Local Honey brand, and this lady stopped me. She was stocking the shelves, and she's like, "Don't buy that. Don't buy it." She goes, "Buy our honey. It's naturally made." And she started telling me about her honey product. So I put it away, and you're right. That brand, it's kind of like masking itself as the real local honey, but it's not really local honey. You always have to read the fine print on where it's from. So that's a great point that you bring up.
Just an anecdote, back in World War II, United States didn't want to have anything that was not made in the United States. We were stopping imports, and so what Japan did is they had an island, and they renamed the island USA. And they shipped it to USA, and then they made it there, and they stamped on it, "Made in USA."
Oh my God, that's so fascinating. So I just want to ask you another question about the health properties of bees and honey. So we talked about PTSD a little bit and the frequency, and there's many peer-reviewed research where people who have PTSD, and I think they did the study with vets who are experiencing a lot of anxiety and depression, once they go into a space with bees, they become calmer.
Now, bees, when they're actually just in the neighborhood, or when they're in a hive, which is, a typical beekeeper is going to be in a hive over here like this, or not in a hive, but in apiary where hives are. The beekeeper is going to experience a hum or a certain tone, and it's a musical note. Some people say that musical note is C, or it could be an A or a G, but whatever that musical note is, it's a certain vibration or certain frequency that the bees are actually naturally producing by just being around. It's like, you hear that local, and that resonates with our own body. Okay, I myself, have experienced it. Then the research says that when a person who has a certain disorder like PTSD, when they're around that frequency for a long period of time, then apparently the studies are showing that that person is helping or being helped by that frequency. I myself got a video from, I believe it was Romania or Ukraine, one of the two. My friends went over there, and this man had a room, like a sauna, set up, and he had on the benches, he had beehives underneath the benches, so people would come in and they would lay down on these benches, and they would listen and hear the tone of the bees, and they claimed that they actually were helped by this tone and frequency. So I support any studies that show that any mental disorder could be affected by, or it could be helped, by bees.
That's really interesting. I just learned about this. So